Alright guys, welcome to my first video. It's bankside fishing, Instagram and Facebook. This is my third attempt at this video. My first attempt I wrote down a bit of a script and tried to follow that and sort of read off it, and when I watched it back I nearly fell asleep. Second attempt I must have moved the camera because it cut my head off. So third time lucky. It's an unboxing video of boiler making equipment and ingredients. So we're going to jump straight in. First thing, one of the most important things, rolling table. Now this is a 14mm rolling table. I did not use one of these for a long time, which meant if I had a 1 kilo base mix, I would have to pinch a bit off, roll it between my hands and just hope it was the right size that I wanted. Never was, but I used them anyway. So table, you can get sort of bigger ones that are like this, and they've got two handles on, and I don't know, you can do like 60 baits at a time. This one you can do 20 because you put a strip there, roll it, 20 baits. So we'll come back to this later. Next, sausage gum. Again, I did not use one of these for a long time. I used to, sorry, 1 second, there we go. What I used to do is I'd make the paste, I would either pinch it off and roll it between my hands like I said earlier, or before I had that I did have another table, but it's just not any good anymore. It's my fault, I didn't clean it for months and months. Anyway, I used to roll a sausage out by hand, and if you don't get the right size for the table, it makes them like dumbbells, or it makes them too small, and it looks bad. Next, now the only reason I bought this particular one, it's a Gardner sausage gun, and the only reason I bought a Gardner one is because of these. Now these are the nozzles. I looked for so long trying to find a sausage gun that did multiple nozzles, but I just couldn't find one until I came across this. It's all from CC Moore's website. Basically the ones I was looking at before, you got one big nozzle, I don't know, like a 3 or 4 inch big nozzle, and you had to cut it to size yourself. Now say if I wanted a 14mm, I cut it down to 14mm, and then later on I wanted an 18mm. What can I do? It's too late, I've already cut it. So that's the only reason I got the Gardner one, because of the multiple nozzles. Up next, a 50-50 base mix. This goes into practically 100% of my boilies. It's 50% semolina and it's 50% soya flour. This is a 1.25 kilo bag. We got 2 of them. You can get this from the supermarket. You can get semolina from the supermarket, and you can get soy flour from the supermarket. I just tend to buy it ready mixed. I normally buy it in bulk, sort of like 5, 6, 7, 8 kilos at a time. But I didn't need too much, I've still got some, so I just topped up what I already had. Up next, CC Moore's CLO. Now this, just let me try and show you. CC Moore CLO. Now if you can see, I don't know if, I'm sorry about the glare, but the little black bits, they're like birdseed, etc. And I think it gives off a bit of a crunch factor, and obviously it is beneficial nutrition for the fish, etc. But it recommends that you use, wait, let me get this right. I think it recommends 300 grams per kilo. I never do that. I use roughly 150 to 200 grams per kilo that I make, simply because those little like birdseed particle things that are in there, if you use too much of this, I find when you come to roll it on your table, and after you've boiled them and they're drying out, when they're drying out they start to crack. So I can only put that down to the birdseed because it can't get as smooth and nice enough finish on it and a tight roll sort of thing. Up next, CC Moore's herring meal. Now, again, I use this quite a lot. Probably in, I'd say probably 75% of my boilies, it's got herring meal in it. It's a fish meal. It's a high quality fish meal from CC Moore. It's, off the top of my head, it's 68% protein and about 9% oil, I think, but that's off the top of my head, so don't hold me to that. Now, that's all for the unboxing, but I want to talk a little bit about boilie making for beginners. Now, I highly recommend you get these two. You know, you get any brand you want, you don't have to be gardener, get whatever you want, but please get a rolling table and please get a sausage gun. It makes life so much easier. When you're first starting out, I suggest doing a 1 egg mix, which is, if you mess your mix up, a 1 egg mix, you know, you've not wasted a lot of stuff. And just start out simple. Start out with semolina, bit of soy flour, and so if you were doing that, it's 100 grams, which is a 1 egg mix. So you'd use 50 grams semolina, 50 grams soya, but obviously this is already mixed. If you buy it from a supermarket, that's what you'd do. And always sieve it as well. Take out all the lumps, makes it a lot easier to roll. Yeah, 1 egg mix as a sort of test batch. That's what I do for every single recipe that I do. I've got a notepad somewhere that is it that one? No, not that one. I've got a notepad that I've got filled back to front with recipes that I've tried and tested. You know, some of them fail, some of them work, and some of them just completely smash a lake. And if you do not write your notes down, you're going to regret it. Trust me. There's nothing worse than going to a lake with a homemade bait that you've been working on yourself. You go to a lake and it just completely smashes that lake. You know, you get fish after fish. It's like a feeding response you've not seen before. So you want to know what's in that and exactly what's in it to the mill and to the gram, so you can recreate it. If you do it as a 100 gram mix when you start with, obviously as you make more, you just up the ingredients. It's all trial and error. I've made so many batches that have gone completely wrong and just gone straight in the bin. I've not even boiled them up. And again, I watch a lot of videos on YouTube of people making boilies, and don't get me wrong, they do a fantastic job. You know, they all look quality and I'm sure they work for them, but they put sort of 6 or 7 different flavours in. They'll chuck in a bit of peach, plum, pineapple, all the peas. You know, they'll do some like tiger nut or krill, or they'll chuck in 3,000 different oils. You don't need to do that. When you're first starting out, keep it simple. Something like 1 flavour, plum, peach, tutti frutti, whatever you want. It's all about trial and error. And as I say, you're writing these notes down. If it works for you, up the quantity. Yeah? So you get more baits. Try a 1 kilo mix next time. See if the bait's still working the same, because obviously you've had to up your ingredients and your measurements and all this lot, and obviously it won't be a 1 egg mix anymore. So again, it's all trial and error. There's no right or wrong way to do it. My next video is going to be a boilie making video, and I'm going to keep it simple because obviously you guys, you know, you've not got this stuff at home, but semolina and soy flour you will. If you don't, you can just pop down to your supermarket and get some. We'll keep it really simple. Semolina, 50% semolina, 50% soy flour with a 1 egg mix. For flavourings, I don't know, we'll go something that you can get quite easily, something like tutti frutti, anything like that. And if you want a bit of food colouring from the supermarket as well, entirely up to you. I like to keep my baits natural colour, sort of like the CLO and the herring meal is. The herring meal is very, very fine as well. So again, You don't need a lot of these when you're making 1 kilo mixes. It says that you should use the CLO, I think is 350 grams or 300 grams per kilo, and the herring meal is recommended up to 500 grams per kilo. I never do that, simply because I'll go sort of 180 to 220 per kilo, because I think any more than that and it just doesn't become beneficial, you know. You want the bait to be working, like nutrition, feeding response, everything like that. But if you're just piling in all this stuff and it's overpowering, you know, it's like us. If someone's strong, we don't want it. Same with the fish. So I think that's about it for this video. As you can probably tell, we've got to the end of the video. I do not feel comfortable in front of the camera, but I'm hoping that improves as time goes on. Like I say, first video, so it's bound to be not very good. So yeah, if you want to see me do a very simple 50-50 base mix, do a 1 egg mix, I'm quite happy to do that. But after that, my next video, I should be on the bank. So I'm going to try my remote that hasn't been working to switch the camera off. So tight lines guys, and I'll see you next time. No, it didn't work. I'll do it manually. Tight lines guys.